Inside the Game, brought to you by the 2015 GMC Sierra. We are professional grade.
I know if you celebrate Christmas, one of the big things for kids of all ages is opening presents. Sometimes you open them on Christmas Eve, sometimes on Christmas Day. For us on Hockey Night in Canada, it's when Elliot is furiously typing something on his computer and his head's down. We're all excited to see what he unwraps for us.
Conspiracy theories.
Nothing
legit.
We're going to talk about some things going on, rumors going on, who knows, with players and possible trades, and even talk about what happened with the Montreal Canadiens after the game tonight as they lost their 6th in a row and only 1 win and 10 losses in their last 11. But let us start with the game tonight. What we just saw, the Vancouver Canucks played better in this period. You know, when it comes to goals and goals you give up, sometimes it isn't as much about as what happens as who's on the ice when it happens.
Yeah, and prime example in that period, what looked like another fourth line versus fourth line shift turned now into a big advantage for the Vancouver Canucks, and Willie Desjardins saw it. This is the fourth line here. Seems to be doing it. Seems to be all in control for the Vancouver Canucks. Gazdic gets the puck here, and what should be just a small bank before the red line turns into a bank after the red line. So what happens? Well, in my day, I came off the ice and the centerman came on. We know that the rules has changed. So Willie Desjardins acknowledges. He gets the Sedins out there. The fourth line for Edmonton's on their heels. And just like that, 1-1 score.
Yeah, Kassian picks up his 11th of the year.
Yeah, and execution. You know, they put the rule in for a reason. We saw it doesn't happen all the time, but there's an example where it worked for Vancouver. Edmonton had a couple times. They could have cleared that puck, made good plays. They made weak plays. They capitalized. Next thing you know, Vancouver's having a way better period.
And Edmonton, of course, you know, now has some interesting questions to come in the longer term of who they have on the roster. We know how they're playing right now. We know Connor McDavid's coming up. Let's talk about, why don't you just set it up? But is Zack Kassian rumored, possible? Is Edmonton a place?
I think they're in the conversation for sure. You know, we talked in the headlines in the second intermission of the first game with Damien about how, and we mentioned San Jose, Bob Bugner, who coached him for a little bit at Windsor in the Ontario Hockey League as an assistant in San Jose. And I didn't mention Edmonton because I kind of doubted myself, and then some other information came in. You know, Peter Chiarelli last year when he was the GM of the Boston Bruins, he thought long and hard about acquiring Zack Kassian in Boston and decided not to do it. And, you know, so I think Edmonton's in the conversation. I think they've done, like many other teams, their research on Kassian to see if it's a fit. And the other thing that's part of this is Ben Scrivens is not in the lineup tonight for American Hockey League Bakersfield. He has been in the lineup for at least every game since back to the beginning of November. I'm just checking it right now. I don't know if I'm making too much of this, but I'm wondering if there's some correlation.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's pretty clear that the Edmonton Oilers, along with a few other clubs, looking for more grit. And now people are wondering, well, Kassian, why didn't you just pick him up on the waiver wire? Well, that was the old days. Now,
but also you want to get rid of a contract,
exactly.
And it's the money out too.
So for the Montreal Canadiens, what can they even hope to?
Thanks for finishing my thought.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were. You helped us out earlier today. I was trying to help you back.
Thank you, buddy.
What can the Habs expect in terms of return for a guy like Kassian?
Well, the question is now whether or not Carey Price is still looking at 10 days, 2 weeks, or is it something more meaningful? And that goes to Elliot's point about Ben Scrivens now. We watched again another close game. You know, are you gonna blame the goaltending tonight just in the Montreal loss? No, but it could be a difference maker. And maybe it goes to Elliot's point about Scrivens.
You think Scrivens would be the answer?
I think if Montreal believes that Carey Price is out a lot longer than anticipated, it makes a lot of sense.
How about for the Oilers side in terms of injuries? We're talking about Carey from Montreal. Connor McDavid will be back, and soon it appears. Soon-ish. When Connor returns, do they have a bit of a logjam now at center? Who's expendable? We've seen other players step up without Connor McDavid. What happens with them?
3 opinions, I think, on all of this.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not trading a center. Like people are talking about.
Nugent-Hopkins is a name.
Like, you know, if you're getting a significant piece in return, then anybody's available. We're talking about the city and the team that traded Gretzky, right? But you know, I don't like trading centers if you don't have to. You know, obviously it depends on what the return is, but I'm holding on to centers as long as I can.
I don't disagree with that, but you know, Draisaitl's come up, and their line has had a real good run of chemistry right now. And it's such an elusive thing to find in our league. So you've got one line. Mark Letestu's line has become a checking line, penalty killers. So you need to find that other line between Connor McDavid, who does he fit in with, and is it Eberle, is it Nugent-Hopkins, Pouliot? What is that line going to be? And if you can find it,
I don't think any of those guys are interested in playing the wing. I think they're all centermen.
What about trying to move one over to the wing?
Nugent-Hopkins, to me, is the guy that is going to get dangled for a defenseman. Okay? To Elliott's point, I mean, you can't afford them all long term, but I don't think Nugent-Hopkins is in a position to feel good about being the third-line centerman on this team.
There's your card back. You lost it accidentally in the last throw.
I'm still laughing about what
I could have lost an eye, okay?
Let's check out what happened on Twitter.
Do I have to wear a visor next show?
You might see some visors, some ugly Christmas sweaters, and so much more on the social media, Instagram and Twitter over the holiday season. For more on that, here's Sophs.
George, thanks. Let me just first remind people that if they're extending their celebrations into tonight, miss some of the games, you can always go back with Rogers NHL Game Center Live, watch some highlights, or the entire game if you please. Let's take a look at what players posted over the break, how they were celebrating, starting with the Ben brothers, Jamie and Jordy, with the whole family, all in Christmas onesies, and the pup included in that as well. This is Connor McDavid, of course, with his brother Cameron. Connor gave a special shout out to his Nana on Instagram, and this is a cute picture of Ryan Miller decorating the tree with his son. This ornament is a Vancouver Canucks ornament, keeping the faith with the team. And finally, Darnell Nurse saying Christmas shopping has never been easier because all his cousins wanted the same thing, which I think is very cute if you're a rookie or still playing in the NHL. But Nick, did you have to all get us Kyprios jerseys again? I kind of wanted a bottle of wine or something.
Listen, those Hartford Whalers
Next
jerseys
year.
are very valuable. Take a look at this. A Sedin to a Hansen, and there's your tying goal. We have third period action and more next.